Multiple offers are back, baby. And well, that's not necessarily a good thing, but they're back. In today's video, I'm going to explain specifically what is going on with multiple offers in Vancouver in the beginning of 2024, but more specifically, what you can do if you're faced with a multiple offer situation from a financing perspective. Let's get right into it, shall we? Unless you've been hiding under a rock, the real estate market itself has been relatively quiet over the course of 2023. In fact, we'd argue it's been prehistoric. It's been moving slow. People have had the opportunity to actually make offers on property, put in financing conditions. Heck, we even saw people in 2023 have the ability to put in a subject to sale, which is the ability to put a subject in their buyer's offer upon the sale of selling their house that they purchased that contract. That is no longer the case. And in fact, we are moving completely back to what we were seeing in 2022 and 2021, which is competitive offer situations. Now, I don't want to put people on the hype train and get concerned that we're going to see the same level of multiple offers with house prices going up $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000, because in fact, we have not seen that, but we have seen people bidding in order to get properties, and it is happening on a daily basis right now. In fact, we're not only seeing it on single family homes, but we're seeing it on assigning contracts, townhomes in different cities and different suburbs across the entire Greater Vancouver area. In fact, we've even heard stories of this happening in different cities across the entire province of BC and Alberta again. So the question is, why are multiple offers happening again? And more specifically, what can you do about it if you're in a multiple offer situation? Now, before we get into that, guys, real quickly, if you want to go ahead and like and subscribe this video to get more of that content, I would love to continue seeing you guys here at the channel and helping you out. Now let's get into the beginning. What exactly prompts multiple offers in the first place? Unsurprisingly, it is a high amount of competition and interest and activity in the marketplace. As you may know, in 2023, the actual amount of interest in the marketplace was down significantly, mostly on the backs of higher interest rates and timidness around what was going on with the real estate market. Now, 2024 has started off in a complete opposite bang, and what we're seeing already is not only prompted by somewhat lower interest rates, but generally speaking, confidence coming back in the marketplace from a combination of different forces. Now, some of those forces include people who don't have any prior experience with the real estate market and in fact don't have any recognition of lower interest rates. So for them, buying at today's interest rates really just comes down to their affordability and ability to qualify. Many of those people have been waiting on the sidelines for the past year, waiting until they saw prices either stall or remain the same. And since the end of 2023, prices kind of really just tabled off and started to actually come back up a little bit. A lot of those people are making decisions to move forward. A second subcategory of people are those who are thinking about moving. There's always people who are looking at making a move because of family decisions, divorce, death, growing, having kids, jobs, or these types of things. And again, a lot of these people happen to wait during the Christmas season before they actually make that decision to move forward and buy real estate. And we're starting to see action really take hold from those demographics of people buying real estate. And what's really happened here is we've seen kind of an interesting cross section of people in both ends and all these different areas starting to look at purchasing real estate all at the same time. And in fact, on my side, we haven't seen more applications in January since 2021 January, which is going back 3 years when interest rates were 2% and everybody and their dog wanted to buy a piece of real estate. Although that is anecdotal evidence, we do see a lot of applications. So I think we do have some understanding as to what's happening on the ground. Now back to multiple offers and what's going on there. Now, if you're in a situation where you're actively looking to buy real estate in this market and you're faced with a multiple offer situation, there's a few key things you need to think about. The first and most important thing is really financing, because when it comes to making a multiple offer decision, typically you're put in a position where not only are you having to make a decision quickly, you're having to make a decision about a lot of money. So the first and most important thing is if you are in a position where you'd like to compete to purchase a piece of real estate, not everyone wants to compete, but there's something that you love, you need to know your bottom line, which means you need a fully underwritten pre-approval where you know your maximum dollar amount and any other cash that you can contribute. One of the biggest mistakes that we saw during the height of 2021 were people going out and shopping and making multiple offers on homes where they couldn't actually afford what they were purchasing and making offers on. So make sure you know what you qualify for properly first and foremost. The second thing is when you are making that multiple offer, typically there are situations where you're going to have to remove conditions to make your offer more competitive. And this can include things like inspections, financing. It can also include waiving strata fees and other items. Now, although we typically don't recommend waiving any of these conditions, if you are prompted to do so, you can typically do a lot of research in advance. Number one, you can typically get an inspection in advance of purchasing a property if there is a offer date. Number two, you can often get access to the strata documents so you can review those thoroughly in advance of making any offers on properties. And then number three, of course, and very importantly, if you're making an offer on a property and you are looking to do so above the actual purchase price, you need to be aware that typically speaking, a bank will require a physical appraisal. And if there are no other sales in the area to support that value on that property, you will have to actually make and pay the difference in valuation. So essentially, if you're making an offer and you're going into multiples, it's important to consider the property itself, the inspection that you might do or not do on the property, the valuation of the appraisal. So are there other properties around that have supported that, or do you have additional cash to make up that? And of course, your financing to ensure that you are properly and fully qualified for that. Now, a common confusion about the financing piece is that if you visit your bank and they give you a rate hold, you are fully qualified or fully pre-approved for that amount of money. It's not true. And in fact, you're not actually fully underwritten or reviewed until you've typically submitted that to our team, such as a broker that underwrites us in-house, or the bank itself, which happens after you get the accepted offer. Now, if you're not sure about making a multiple offer, or if you're just on the fence and you're wondering, okay, how do I make this more competitive? Of course, besides removing some of those conditions, a few things that you can do. Typically, you can provide proof that you are properly pre-approved. You can do that through a comfort letter from a broker like us that confirms that you have been qualified via your credit, your income, your assets, your liabilities, and has been reviewed. You can, of course, provide a letter of confirmation from yourself to the seller, a letter of empathy saying that there's a reason why you would love to live in this home and why it's important to you. In some situations, that can be impactful for a seller of a property, specifically if it's a long-time family home. Although, as we can tell you, typically price is the number one thing that matters. In addition to that, one of the most important things for sellers on properties is also dates. And so if you're flexible in the ability that time that you can get into the property or that you can move into the property, then it can also provide you with a leg up to getting multiple offers. Now, in the end, the question mark is, are multiple offers here to stay? Are they going to come and go? And what should we expect going into the spring? Well, I think that a lot of that depends really on how interest rates really unfold over the course of the next couple of weeks and months. If the market continues to hold stable as it is right now, chances are we'll only really see multiple offers coming on select properties that are very desirable, especially as price points remain stable. If we continue to see these multiple offers, chances are very good that we'll start to see price points come up. And if interest rates don't come up as well, then we'll probably start to see demand normalize. At the end of the day, we do not have enough building, and for that reason, there's not enough supply, and we'll continue to have these types of issues as long as people want to buy real estate in the Greater Vancouver area and other cities of this nature. So I don't see any major fix for these multiple offer situations coming and going, especially at price points being substantially lower right now than they have been in the past. I'd love to hear from you though. Would you ever make a multiple offer on a property? Would you ever go into a bidding war? Do you think that they're here to stay or go? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear, and we'll give you more feedback as things change in the marketplace and go on.